Now, Shreveport's best high school newscast continues. Our top story.
Coming up, I'll tell you about the growing hobby in the 90s, street rods.
Plus,
I'm Jason Doan. Putting together a television program can take a lot of time. Even putting together an 11-minute show like Kbyrd can take weeks. I'll have more on that later.
from the broadcast journalism class of Kbyrd, this is Kbyrd.
Good afternoon, Jackets. I'm Faith Jenkins.
And I'm Shane Spears. Welcome to this week's edition of Kbyrd for April 8th, 1994. Throughout the past 3 years, the Kbyrd staff has been working hard to plan, film, and edit each show to air to the student body. Do you ever wonder what it's like behind the scenes? Kbyrd Technical Director Jason Doan takes a look.
Television is the most used media tool in the world. But just because we see television every day doesn't mean that it is easy to produce. For example, the regular Kbyrd program that you see every Friday airs in about 11 minutes, but it takes over 3 weeks to produce a Kbyrd show.
And I'll do that again.
3 different groups, and we go in rotations. We plan, and then we shoot, and then we edit, and so it takes 3 weeks to do one show. On your editing week, we air that Friday. The planning week, we write up what we call storyboards, where you get real organized and detailed in your show, talk about, you plan who you're going to interview, what angle you're going to take, and the steps that you're going to take if that angle doesn't work out. You just plan everything, and you write everything down, and what music you want to use. You just get organized. The planning week is your organization week. And then your next week, and during your planning week, you organize for your shooting week. That way that your shooting week, you have a schedule of when you shoot. And so your shooting week, that's everything that you want to shoot for your show. And then your editing week, you're editing the show. You're piecing it together and putting your music on and everything. And then that Friday, if everything's done on a Thursday, you finish it on a Thursday. You work Monday through Thursday, and then that Friday you air.
There are many different aspects of Kbyrd. You have the technical side of it. You also have the writing aspect of it, where you have to actually write your own scripts. Then there's always organization.
Well, if a Kbyrd show isn't organized, usually everything's done a little bit later. The group, as a result, gets a lower grade for the show because they don't stick to the 3-week cycle. Editing will usually be done probably in the last 2 or 3 days, which really means for a rush job on editing. Sometimes the show doesn't come out looking as good as it usually could. There's a lot of stress working on Kbyrd because you're putting together a show that'll be aired to a 2,000 plus audience. I mean, surely there is a lot of stress. There's a lot of deadlines too that you have to work against. You're always trying to get the show done, and you're trying to have it look its best so that when the student body actually sees it, it'll be both entertaining and informational.
As you can see, putting together a show, even for high school students, can take a lot of time. A few minutes of the program can sometimes take hours to put together. Even though there is a lot of pressure on the Kbyrd staff, airing a good final product is always gratifying. Reporting for Kbyrd, I'm Jason Young.
And Jason says there are a few places left on Kbyrd for next year, and we will be taking late applications.
Have you ever been out driving and saw a car that really grabbed your attention? Well, hot rods are one type of car that are becoming more and more popular. And many people put a lot of time and effort into fixing them up so they can show them off on the roads. Kbyrd reporter Mark Rinaudo talked to Troy Cook, a local hot rod builder, to find out more.
Hot rodding has grown over half a century to be one of the most enjoyed hobbies in America. Hot rods can be dated back to after World War II. Ever since the debut of ZZ Top and Tim Allen's hot rods, they've become more and more popular. We talked to Troy Cook, local owner of TC Street Rods, to find out what hot rods are.
With 3 major changes: transmission, motor, rear end, wheels, paint. 3 major changes makes it into a street rod or a hot rod. It started in the early 50s. Flatheads, 32 Fords, 33 Fords, 40 Ford coupes, modifying the motors, taking the fenders off of them, putting big tires and wheels on them, call them hot rods. The police call them hot rods. So the hot rod stuck. Models is your hopped up big blocks, small blocks, bored out, punched out, go like the wind. Fuel injection, you can hot rod it now. Different chips, different tires, wheels, depending on cubic inch. We're talking, they got them with blowers on them. They got them with turbochargers. They got them, you know, whatever you want.
The one thing all hot rodders will tell you is that they take pride in owning one of these vehicles.
It's a pride factor. It's a something somebody else doesn't have. Something to play with, something that takes care of most people's fishing, hunting. It's same things that people go fishing and hunting.
I guess it's just a car that I've always wanted since I was a kid, and now I've got it. It's a 34 Ford 5-window coupe.
So the next time you see a hot rodder cruising down your street, be sure to give the owner a thumbs up. For Kbyrd, I'm Mark Rinaudo.
Thanks, Mark. Hopefully we'll see more of these interesting cars on the road in the future. Coming up, we'll find out about the Miss Byrd pageant. Plus, we'll tell you a few tips about preparing for prom.
And on this week's You Said It, we asked you what you think about the new cafeteria system. Plus, Bill Kimbrough has sports.
Spring has arrived, which means it's baseball season. I'll have more when we return.
These stories and more still ahead when Kbyrd continues.
This week's Kbyrd has been brought to you by Broadmoor Garage at 505 East Kings. For top quality service, give them a call, 868-1352, and by Preferred Air Conditioning.
The word is out. More people are finding out about North Louisiana's best-kept secret, DePat's Factory Outlet, where you'll find the only wholesale manufacturer selling special occasion party gowns at wholesale or below prices. And if your special dress is not in stock, they will make it specially for you. They even sell sequin shoes, jewelry, matching bags, and cummerbund sets. Don't miss out. The 1994-95 Model Search Contest has begun. Visit DePat's Factory Outlet today for details. DePat's Factory Outlet, 9526 Linwood Avenue in South Shreveport.
Kbyrd Sports is coming up.
I'm Amy McInturf. Now let's take a look at this week's Kbyrd calendar. All you basketball players, the Student Council wants to take you to the hoop. A 3-on-3 basketball tournament will be held on April 18th through the 22nd. Entry forms may be picked up in room 208. Student Council Executive Committee applications are available on April 4th through the 8th in room 208. The interviews will be held on April 11th through the 13th after school. Have you prepared? The graduation exit exam will be held on April 11th through the 13th. Remediation is available from 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. in room 301A. Writing, language arts, or social studies remediation dates are April 5th and the 7th. The dance we've all been waiting for, prom. The last day to purchase prom tickets will be Friday, April 15th in room 120. Juniors pay $15 and anyone else pays $10. High steppers. The tryout clinic will be held on April 11th through the 14th from 2:30 to 4 o'clock p.m. in the boys' gym with tryouts on Friday, April 15th at 3 o'clock p.m. Officer tryouts and interviews will take place in the dance studio Monday, April 18th at 2:45 p.m. Attention seniors, if you're interested in a wheel, you can get 100 words free. They must be typed. You can purchase more words in B7. The wheels are due by April 11th. That's it for this week's Kbyrd calendar jacket. See you next week.
With prom only 2 weeks away, it's time to start searching for those dresses, making plans, and most important, finding a date. If you want to have a great night but don't want to spend too much money, here's some helpful advice.
Prom tickets may be purchased with Bird Bucks for a cost of $40 a piece. Dresses or tuxedos may be rented for an average cost of $50 to $100. If you're riding in a limousine, you can share the cost with a friend. And for any of you guys who are brave enough to wear a tuxedo to school, many rental places will offer them to you free of charge.
This year, the Miss Byrd pageant has made several changes. For the past few years, the pageant has been based on beauty. This time, contestants will be based on the most all-around girl. This year's theme is Toontown. There's lots of entertainment, including Vardaman, Billy Moore, Mr. Vance, Mr. Edwards and the Jazz Band, Kelson Shaw, and many more. The pageant will be held on April 27th at 6:30, so come out and enjoy a good show.
The sounds of spring are in the air, the crack of the bats, the cheering of the crowd. This year, the Shreveport Captains are ready to make their charge for the Texas League Championship. Tonight, the Cats will start their quest as they open the season at Fairgrounds Field against the Arkansas Travelers. The game begins tonight at 7 p.m., so let's all go out there and support the Captains.
That's it for Kbyrd this week, Jackets.
Have a great weekend, and remember, seniors, only 25 more days left of school.